Oh, hey guys, how y'all doing?
Hey,
It's
what's
Matt in
up?
Exile, and that's John for American in Exile.
Another lovely week beginning.
Yes. All right, go ahead and give me your update on what's going on at the border.
All right, at the border right now, it's there's problems both in Mexico at the northern border with America, and also at the southern border, Tapachula. Matter of fact, I posted already tonight a video on. There's about 500 or 600 of them. They appeared out of nowhere, and it's I mean, it's if you've ever been in that area of the world, it's heavy. It's jungle. It's heavy jungle, and it rains every day. It's the rainforest, and the brush just grows right up to the edges of the road, and the people have to stay offside. They stay out of the sun and what have you. But another group of them have popped up, and they're from all over the place in Central and South America. It's never ending down there. But at least they have the government has things under control at Tapachula because they were rioting last week, and also too at the northern border right now, things are starting to go awry again. Uh, the drug runners are using the tunnels again, and there's not been any arrests. It's pretty much a proven factor now that the border patrol is compromised without a shadow of a doubt because some of the photos that they've been showing us, some of the people, and you can see the tattoos on them because their shirts are open. These are MS-13, and they're armed, and they're not paying any attention to the border patrol, and border patrol's not paying attention to them. So it's just you can tell what's going on there.
Now, the riots start happening down the southern border of Mexico. Is that because of the immigrants coming through, or is that because of lack of food and water?
Okay, it's a real big combination.
Okay.
They're coming out of Colombia and other Central and South American countries, and they have a lack of food, they have a lack of water. They need these, they need them. But the other problem of it is too is that the people that live, the indigenous people that live there in Mexico, uh, they don't want them there anymore. They've been putting up with this for a couple of years now, and they're sick and tired of seeing these people come and break into their houses and stuff like that.
Now, it's not just people in South America, though. It's people throughout the world. It's actually flying into uh, Venezuela, Nicaragua, and parts of Mexico, flying in and going to the border that way. Am I
Oh yeah,
right about that?
there's multiple ways of coming. They change from time to time. Like Brazil seems to be a big Brasilia, the capital. It seems to be a big stopping point for a lot of the African nations. They can see because what happens is Brazil. I don't want to put this. Unlike America, you don't. There's not very many countries that we actually have to need a visa for. I can go anywhere in Europe except the only place I can go that I need a visa would be England. I can go to France. I can go to all those countries. I mean, let's forget about the communist bloc countries. I can go to Africa, to almost every single country there, including the Mediterranean, without a visa. I just need my passport. That's all I need. And therefore, the same thing for them. So when they come from those countries, they come into Brasilia first, and this way they can get around. In other words, if they're bad actors, then they have to find a different route because what they're using now is the bad actors are flying from Brasilia into Caracas, Venezuela. And from Caracas, Venezuela, they're going by boat to Nicaragua. That's where Nicaragua is having a big play. But still keep in mind, too, that El Salvador and Nicaragua still are having violent situations with the uprisings going on there.
Yeah.
It's a big mess. It's a big mess. And through all this are these people trying to come to America.
Now, most of the uprisings that are going on down there have to do with inflation and the price of
Right.
gasoline and food, right?
Oh, yeah. The food is even here. We have food here. Of course, we're the breadbasket of the world here. I mean, it's Brazil's one of the largest countries in the world with food. We've got everything. We're number one export. It's number two in the world for beef, which a lot of people don't realize. That chicken's number one, but then we've got the sugar cane. We've got the soy. It just keeps going and going and going. The maize, the corn. But what we've noticed around here is we're in the middle of all this country, and we've been noticing that the fields are fallow right now, and they should have been planted last month. because we're going in exact opposite seasons. Now, this in Brazil, the planting is all year round, with the exceptions of the southern tip of Brazil. But still, that's tens of thousands of acres, and I'm trying to think of the right words for it. It doesn't look right because the prices of food are really expensive. I mean, very expensive for a loaf of bread, and a lot of things are just not being delivered to the grocery stores. But it's so expensive. The people here can't afford it. Not like in America. America, if you can't afford something, then it's pretty bad. But here, it's normal.
Wow. I got a video from Twitter we could watch. It's from Tucker Carlson, and he's talking about what's going on at the border and some of the detainees that are being caught. And it also shows a video of the Border Patrol actually going and opening a gate after the, I believe it's National Guard in Texas, shuts the gate and makes sure they don't come in.
I've seen that video. Yes, that's what they do. Is what they've been doing is the people come up there. I think is that the one showing about the 25 people or so coming up to the fenced.
I think gate? Yeah, it's 25, 30, somewhere around there.
If it's that, they show them coming up to the gate. They show the gate is locked, and then they show the Border Patrol opens the gate, lets the people in, only opens up so far, lets the people in, and then Abbott's not Border Patrol, Abbott's
National Guard.
National Guard, thanks. Tongue tied right there on that one. National Guard closes and locks the gate again. I mean, go figure. It's crazy.
Law and order. You see it on the streets of our cities. You see it at our southern border. It's collapsed. So if you're a Republican voter, and not just a Republican voter, any voter, you probably want to know, what is the government going to do about the fact that I can call 911 and no one shows up? What are you going to do about the fact that our border is open to the world and that millions of them have come in illegally? How can you take the country seriously when it doesn't even have a border? And it doesn't. And we know that because on video every single day, people stream in. Fox's Bill Melugin just caught the whole thing once again on camera.
Take a look at this video we shot yesterday where we're standing. This is the first time we had ever seen this. The Texas National Guard closed and locked a gate on this property. It's a major crossing area, and they blocked the illegal immigrants from being able to come into this property. It's private property. The owner allows the National Guard and Border Patrol to work here, but you can see illegal immigrants started showing up. They weren't let in. They expected to be let in, and they were surprised they couldn't get in. Here's what happened, though. Take a look at this video. Border Patrol showed up. A supervisor came with a key, opened up that gate, and let all of those illegal immigrants in. Symbolic of the way the state of Texas handles things versus the way the federal government handles things.
So if every Republican candidate just repeat after me, law enforcement, law and order is not racist. Law and order is a prerequisite for civilization. And if it goes away, so does the country. You would win the votes not simply of your own voters, but of a lot of other voters and people who've never voted before. And any normal Democrat would agree with that because it's inherently true. But it's the opposite of what we have. When Ann Coulter saw the video we just played, she noted correctly that it's easier to get into this country as an illegal alien than it is to return as an American citizen back into JFK. By the way, the people you saw are the ones who just want to be caught. They're turning themselves in so they can get bused to your town. There are a lot of people who don't want to be caught, and those people are bringing in fentanyl, which is killing thousands of Americans every month.
It's been a busy few weeks for U.S.
Before we go any further, I was going to say, Ann Coulter, actually, she seems to have reversed her opinion on Donald Trump lately, and I'm surprised she actually wants the border to be closed because due to Trump derangement syndrome, everybody seems to reverse their opinion on everything that Trump wants to do. So I just wanted to mention that about Ann Coulter. And did you have any opinion about what we just watched on that video?
It pretty much speaks for itself. It's the point of our government is out of control. No, we do not. In other words, this is not America. This might be America as far as name is concerned, but this country is not run by an American government. It's run by a communist government. The point behind it, you don't see these things. It is illegal to come into the United States without a visa or a passport. It is illegal to come into the United States without being vetted for vaccinations and what have you. Everything is illegal, and yet you saw a representative of the federal government with a key saying these people, come on in. Come on in. In other words, it's just another day at the office for these people. And it's just, it can't go on this way, because I don't think that what's going on right now, it's not showing what's going to happen when you have all these tens of thousands of people coming in this country, and especially when there's supposedly over 100,000 Russian trained troops from Nicaragua, which are no longer in Nicaragua, are most likely in the United States in cells. What are they going to do about them? What about all the drug people from cartels? The prisons. They say that there's over 1 million criminals from prisons, plus the cartels that are currently in the United States running the drug businesses that they're running right now. And it's going to come to a point, once that border's closed, they're going to start to have to take over for themselves. And it's not going to be a pretty picture at all.
Hey, Stephanie. That's William's wife.
William's wife.
Yeah. And what's up, Lady Di? Let's go ahead and watch a little bit more of this video.
Customs and Border Protection officers in Nogales. At the checkpoint on Saturday, they found 2.5 pounds of black tar heroin, 9 pounds of heroin, 89 pounds of meth, and 320,000 fentanyl pills. Later that day, another huge bust, including more than 40 pounds of drugs and 150,000 fentanyl pills hidden in a car. Border officials say people are becoming more creative in the ways they smuggle items through. In one case, someone tried to hide 10,000 fentanyl pills using a body-shaping garment.
Everybody knows this is happening. This is not hidden information. These are not the Gnostic Gospels. Every American citizen knows exactly what's happening. And yet the leaders of the Republican Party, Mitch McConnell, will watch footage like that and tell you, the most important issue that we face, territorial integrity of Ukraine. And then the same breath will tell you there's nothing the Republican Party can do to avert historic humiliation in the midterm elections. But the truth, as you well know, is that the people who run the Republican Party don't actually want to do anything about it. There are candidates who are talking about this stuff. J.D. Vance in Ohio, Blake Masters in Arizona, Joe Kent in the Pacific Northwest. The leaders of the Republican Party in Washington would rather those guys lose and people like them lose than change the focus of the party to issues that voters actually care about. But the truth is, you can't win elections unless you listen to voters. They're telling you what they want. Republicans have less than 3 months to figure this very simple riddle out, or it's going to be an actual disaster. Stephen Miller has been following this since the beginning. He's a former senior White House advisor. He joins us tonight. Stephen Miller, thanks so much for coming on. This seems like the simplest formula ever. Every normal person hates crime. You'd really have to be Kamala Harris to want more crime. Why aren't they running on this?
They're not running on it for the reasons you identified. Joe Biden is the most unpopular president in American history. We should be looking at the largest midterm victory for Republicans, likewise in American history. And instead, the forecasts are shrinking every single day. Why?
All right. Me and John, before we went live, we were talking about this, about the 2022 election, how it looks like the margins are shrinking. Like, if you look at the polls and everything in Arizona and Georgia, there's a good chance that Katie Hobbs will win Arizona and become governor there. There's also a really good chance that Stacey Abrams will win the governorship in Georgia. And why? It's because the Republican Party itself isn't pushing these Trump candidates like they should be. That's my opinion. I don't know if John has the same opinion, but that's how I'm looking at it.
I pretty much agree with you on that. I mean, they've got to be pushing these candidates. But I think that the major problem of it is we still don't have a good grip on the C elections. I believe that's a proper wording.
Yeah.
It's obvious that they're, I mean, you take a look at what happened in Wyoming with Harriet there against Cheney. Okay, that wasn't really a problem because that's a heavy Wyoming's heavy with Republicans. And it's not known to have any problems with its elections.
Well,
And
the thing is, when it comes to Wyoming too, they had the highest rate of vote for Donald Trump in the last election. I think the closest one other than them was that's close to them was West Virginia, which is the state I lived in. I think they were around 71% went to Trump, and here was about 69%. So not only that, the population there is really small too. I mean, I think there's more people in D.C. than there is there.
Oh yeah. Well, for instance, like I've been watching, I get all the Kerry Lake, everything that Kerry Lake puts out for the C-elections, and I also get from Hobbs, and I've been watching and comparing the two of them, and yet, I mean, just what they're saying, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Kerry Lake is so far into what we really want to happen. It's a hands down. But yet Hobbs refuses to debate Kerry Lake. And she probably, I'm predicting right now that there will be 0 debates between the two of them. Yeah. She's going to slide by this, and without debating, she's going to end up, because I'm telling you right now, they're still smug down there at the Board of Supervisors there in Maricopa County. Maricopa County was there. I don't even know if they're actually done with the elections yet. From the
they're still counting, but
I mean, yeah, the best selections in history, right?
Well, no, they're still counting the primary that happened.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That was what, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
And yet you take a look at the country of France, 60 million people, and they used paper, and guess what? Within 24 hours, they had a decided winner. Now go figure that out. There's just too much. What's going to have to be is, in my honest opinion, these polls, the people that are in by these polls have got to be poll watchers. And even if they're not poll watchers, be hanging around there in shifts, hang around the drop boxes, hang around all this stuff with your cameras around there. Everybody needs to turn into a YouTuber, so to speak. Take these. In other words, the more we're out there, the less of a chance. They're probably going to figure out some way electronically to do that.
Well, let's not get too far into that.
Yeah.
but
you got a point there.
You were getting a little carried away there. But when it comes to what Tucker Carlson is saying, the Republican Party is not trying to help Kerry Lake. Not trying to. Well, when it comes to Brian Kemp, they're pushing Brian Kemp. But the thing is, Brian Kemp is not a good candidate, and the reason is because he doesn't have Trump's endorsement. I'm sorry, but if the candidate that's running in that particular state, no matter what position it is, if they do not have the support of the leader of that party, they're not going to do well. And if Brian Kemp had the support of regular Republicans as well as, or when I say regular Republicans, I'm talking about Republicans that don't like Trump, and also Republicans that like Trump, he would win easily. But the fact is, the Trump Republicans are not going to go out and force and vote for him because of the things that happened in past history. So that's and then when it comes to Kerry Lake, what's going on there? There's a lot of forces there that's against her. So, and not only that, one of the forces is definitely the main Republican Party. The McCainites, those people aren't gonna go out there and vote for her, because of what she said about McCain and what she said about that part of the party. But let's go ahead and watch some more of this video.
Because Mitch McConnell isn't interested in running a national referendum that says elect Republicans, and in January, we seal the border, we reform law enforcement to go after criminals, not Republicans, and we end the war on America's children. No, what he wants to do is handpick candidates that he thinks will like Mitch, and Mitch will like them. And if that means we have 48 seats or we have 49 seats, so be it. He gets to stay on as majority leader. We are witnessing in real time the greatest self-inflicted wound we have ever seen. If Republicans went out every day and said, we have had more illegal immigrants ever before this year than have been recorded in world history. We have increases in crime in our cities that no civilized nation has ever seen. And if you elect a Republican majority, we will go in January and we will take the first funding bill and we will attach to it a requirement the border be shut and a requirement that the FBI stop attacking their opponents and start locking up and breaking apart organized crime in America. And you say that in every state and in every congressional district in this country, and you will win a landslide like you have never seen before. But nobody wants to step up and even make that promise.
That's exactly right. And actually, there's precedent for it. The largest landslide in the history of the American presidency was 1972 by a candidate who did not win on charm, but won on law and order. And you can mock Richard Nixon all you want, but he was right.
49 states.
That's exactly right. So again, how dumb are the people who run the party?
Well, a lot of people have been drinking the Frank Luntz Kool-Aid. I was a congressional staffer for almost a decade. I went to all of these presentations. So what they...
I don't think you'll see a candidate win 49 states in my lifetime again.
No, not in mine.
No, there's no way, because let's just say it's too polarized. And not only that, you got California, New York. They've went so far left, it's not even funny. You know, they're watching how much water you drink. You know?
That's right. And that's why you take California, when you've got Governor Newsom wasting money on commercials, telling people not to move to Florida. I mean, how stupid can you be? This is an election year. He should be putting money in for their candidates, for Democrat candidates, for whatever. Yet he's spending money to say, don't move to Florida. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Well, the reason he doesn't have to put monies in for Democrat candidates is because there's nothing there to actually challenge those Democrat candidates for them not to get elected. That's the truth there.
I think he'd like to become president.
Oh yeah. Be another that dude. What's his name? That's in Canada. It'd be another one of those guys. What's the name of the president there? Or
Trudeau.
Yeah, it'd be like a Trudeau. That guy's worthless.
He managed to take guns away from people.
Yeah. I don't think that would work out. That wouldn't work out here.
That will never work here. Absolutely never work here. We've got the breadbasket. You know, you might lose out in some of the big cities, but the breadbasket will never give up their hunting rifles. I guarantee you that.
They do is they sit you down and they say, well, we ran a message and it says that controlling wasteful Washington spending polls at 95%. To which I would say, you know what else polls at 95%? I like cotton candy. I think airplanes are really neat and super cool. But I enjoy watching movies on Sunday. None of that gets anybody elected. What gets people elected is pushing messages where there's nowhere to hide. I'm for putting violent criminals behind bars. I'm for deporting illegal aliens, and you're not, so I win and you lose. That's how you win elections.
And how about Raphael Warnock? Why don't you explain that video where you seem to be committing spousal abuse? Like, why is that the memory hole? That guy's a U.S. senator. I thought we were against that stuff. Maybe he'll come on and explain it.
Fight to win.
Stephen Miller, great to see you tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Law.
Ooh. All right. What'd you think, bud? The end of it.
I'll tell you, we've got a lot of pains to go through in the next several months. And I mean, it's going to be continuous. You can better believe that we've got coming up, what is it, next week? We've got the January 6th garbage and a new one coming up, or it's continuation, but I call it, you know, it's like a series on television. You're going to have more of that. We have to get pounded with that some more. And then we're going to have to get some more about the Mar-a-Lago, and nothing is going to be done with those. And they'll probably throw a few other things. They continuously are going after anybody remotely friendly with Trump. Yeah. And they're going to continue that right up to the selections. And right then and there, that's going to be a big turning point to exactly what happens, because I'm sure they've got a few more tricks up their sleeve that they haven't pulled yet. Because remember, they're pulling out stuff that what we think is impossible or what is illegal, they're making, just like with Trump with Mar-a-Lago. It is illegal. It's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. Everybody, even Alan Dershowitz, the premier Democrat, or actually he's really the premier constitutional lawyer in America, says it is an illegal bust, total. Plus, even some of the stuff they've gotten from him was illegal. So, in other words, it's good that Trump has filed charges against the DOJ. Yeah. We'll see what happens, but that's just going to drag along too. You're going to watch the whole 9 yards with all this drag beyond the elections. And the selections are going to tell the whole story the next day. But of course, it's going to be the same thing before. Arizona is not going to be, we'll probably have to wait 3-4 weeks. We might have to wait until January to find out what happens in Arizona.
Well, the other thing I wanted to also talk about is what's going on in Russia with the daughter of Vladimir Putin's brain trust, Dugin, being, I guess you could call it assassinated. Let me go ahead and bring up that article. Now, it's from Newsmax, and she was killed from a car bombing, and it looked like the car bombing was actually meant for Alexander. And at the last moment, they switched keys, and he decided to take the other car, and she took that car, and it blew up while she was in it. She was 30 years old, which is way too young, and I feel bad for what happened to her, but there's a lot of people. Well, first thing, when it comes to the authorities in Russia, they're saying it was Ukraine terrorists that did it. And Ukraine is denying this, and I tend to believe them. I think they're a little too busy actually trying to defend themselves in Russia to actually go to inside Russia and do this, but I don't know. I was going to ask you, what do you think about this whole story?
I'll tell you, it's okay. A lot of people, I'm sure, are not aware that in Russia, they have a mob, just like we used to have a mob here in America. Only theirs did not die out and go legit like ours did. They have it, and it's been big time for many, many years. A lot of them used to be in the KGB. And the mob that they have there, this is complete earmarking of a mob hit, literally. I mean, that's has been used throughout Europe for decades. Car bombs have been the easy way of doing things. Nobody sees. You just have to get underneath the belly of the car, and that's it. But no, this has the earmarkings of a mob hit. And I don't think, I'm not defending the Ukrainians, but they've got more, they got so much on their plate. Yeah. I've been waiting for them just to send a couple of rockets right at Moscow. They can't even do that, and yet they found the time to go try to pick him off. No, I don't think so.
Yeah. Now, some of you guys might know who Alexander Dugin is. He wrote a book, I believe, called the Fourth Political Theory, which I know of three, and it's communism, fascism, and liberal democracy. No, it's wait a minute. Yeah, it's Marxism, fascism, and liberal democracy. Now, the fourth one, by what he wrote in his book, is like a mixture of liberal democracy and fascism, which is weird to me. I don't know how you mix those two up, but anyway, he's also the brain trust of Vladimir Putin. He talks to him about. He even mentions in his books he believes that Russia needs to go back to the way it was before it became the Soviet Union, which at that point in time Ukraine was part of Russia, so was parts of Poland, quite a few other countries that are separate from Russia now were, and so was Alaska. So let's just say they want to go back to the way Russia was before the Soviet Union and before the 20th century. So let's just, and not only that, he's also a big proponent of population reduction as well. So in a way, he's kind of a globalist, but he's anti a large or he's anti-globalist oversight or a government over Russia. He thinks Russia should be running everything pretty much. He's one of those type of guys.
Yeah, it's not a good thing. Let's put it this way: it's not a good thing.
No. The dude's pretty crazy, I would say, and creepy as well. But I still feel bad his daughter died. Let's just get that out there. But
well, it's sad that anybody, any innocent person gets, because, you say, well, he was his daughter, or this, that, or the other. Hey, I'm my father's son, but I'm not my father, so to speak.
Yeah.
In
She was also a TV commentator for the Kremlin. So that was her job. She worked out like at a on a TV show, and she's pro Kremlin, so pro Putin, and going out there and doing her thing, kind of like what Brian Stelter and all those other people in the U.S. do to promote Joe Biden. She pretty much did that in Russia.
Oh, Brian Stelter.
I mentioned that for a reason.
I can't help but laugh every time I hear his name.
Yeah, Potato Head's gone.
I wonder if he's not going to start doing commercials for McDonald's.
I don't know. I was figuring he might do the same thing that Chris Cuomo did. Chris Cuomo is now part of a new network, like a brand new network, really small one, and he's going out there. He's saying stuff that Republicans say about the Biden administration, which I'm like this. That tells me everything I need to know. This guy was getting bought and paid for by the Democrat Party to say what they wanted him to say on CNN. He was going there for a paycheck. He wasn't actually believing what he was saying or believing what the propaganda he was putting out there. And Brian Stelter, I don't think he's any different.
No, he's some of these guys are just purely molded to what they are. And I actually believe that he believes what he says. I really think so. I really think that he believes that that Trump is the orange man. He's evil. That all these things. In other words, well, why would people say this if it weren't true? He's one of those. That's exactly what he is. He believes exactly what is not true. And a lot of these people, like Maddow, she's kept her mouth shut over the last couple of months. Because what is there to say?
Yep.
It's just the point of these people are just they're bent. They're haters. Liz Cheney, to the day she dies, is going to hate Trump.
Yep.
Why? I have no clue. No clue.
Well, guys, our time is up. We're going to do this every Monday. We're going to have a little first talk about what's going on at the border and stuff like that, and also what's going on in Brazil. For John, and then we'll get into other subjects. Now, on Thursday, we're going to have a show called The Minutemen. It's going to be 5 of us. It's going to be me, John, William, Archibald, Shannon, Fox from Devoted Patriots, and Romeo. So,
should be good.
Yeah.
Should be interesting.
Yep. And then, of course, Sundays I do my show with Romeo, and I appreciate you guys going and watching it on YouTube as well as on Rumble. Appreciate that, and come back next Monday and watch me and John so we can talk more about the border. John, you got the last word.
Well, it's not last word. How's that one? No, not really. I'm starting to feel like William now. No, it's pretty much we've just got to keep our chins up, keep the faith. Because, things are going to get a little darker before they get lighter. And it's just, it's hard times that we're going through now, but we're all still alive. There's no shots been fired. Thank God for that. And just, keep the faith. That's pretty much it.
All right. See y'all guys later.
Peace.